Good morning, everyone. Like in the last class, we are trying to discuss with the life cycle of the this particular persistent object. What are the life cycle we have identified here? The life cycle we have identified here, so something called transient state. Getting the point. And from the transient state, we have identified persistent state. From the persistent state, we have identified the particular detached state here. So these are the three states are available. The particular persistent object whenever we are performing any operation. So initially it will become transient state. Whenever the session is open, we are going to communicate within the state of persistent. And once the session is closed, we'll go back to the detached state. So to get from the detached to persistent, what we need to do? Again, we need to call save or update method. So to get from the detached to transient here. Right. And here, from the transients to persistent, what we are going to do, we'll call the methods called get, load, and the find method, getting the point. So these are the methods to get it from the transients to detached. So whenever we are performing any operation to back to this particular persistent state, what we are doing here, we are trying to open the session. So without the session, we cannot back to this particular persistent state here. So this is very important here. And after completion of this particular persistence of the life cycle of this particular object, what we have identified, like we created so some of the classes in the last class. So using the category objects here. But observe in the last class, what we are doing here, we have used the cascade here. For one type of object, we use the cascade none. One other type of object, we have used the particular save or update, like save hyphen update method. So whenever we are calling the particular save method, what we are doing here, we are trying to store the particular category information with the parent category ID. So that's I want to cover because yesterday, so someone having some doubt here, go back to in the particular class call. Select star from Hibernate dot category. You can observe here the last record you can easily recognize. So this is we call from the last one I'm tracking. This particular record we use it with the save. Whenever we are calling the save method, what is happening here? Along with this particular category name, we are able to get the parent category ID. Because of here, what we use it? The cascade save hyphen update we use it. And earlier, the particular ID call 13 ID. So what we did here, we did not use any session related method to save the record. So that's the reason even we are able to see the parent category ID, but the category name we did not find. So how we are getting this particular parent category? So because of the particular dirty checking we are able to get, but here the name of the category we did not find because we use the cascade type as a none. We use the particular cascade type as a none. So this is the difference between and the which scenario we can work with cascade related information and which scenario we want to work with the save hyphen update and all. So these are the cascade information here and based on our requirement, but in the all real-time application we will work on the all. The cascade all is nothing but whenever we are trying to perform any operation, what will happen here? So the operation is going to depends on the child objects also. Getting the point. So these are about the cascade information and coming back to the retrieving object from the database. So how we can retrieve the data from the object that we have identified using the particular get and load method that we have identified get and load method here. And along with the get and load method, we are going to work on the so some other concepts here. Carefully observe here. We have introduced one HQL here. HQL is nothing but Hibernate query language. Here, what is going to do here? So this particular HQL is not going to use for the insert or update or any other operation here. but only is going to work on the retrieval operation. Retrieval operation in the sense we are going to communicate with the database to load an object from the database. So the HQL is not going to support to the insert, update, and so sometimes the deletion also it's not going to support. But here only is going to work on the retrieval operation here. So observe how we can work on the particular example. Go back to the previous example. So 1 second, it's trying to load. Okay. Now what we can do here, we'll try to focus on our main class. So there's something called Hibernate main. Here what I will do, I will try to comment all the code here, and you can observe here what we can do. The session is already created. Where we created on top of here, we already the session is created here. So using the same session, what I'm doing here, I want to work on the HQL here, something called session dot create query. Okay, now session dot create query, where we can find here, you can observe here. So this is the method we are going to find create query, and he is going to take as a one string parameter. Here if we'll observe here, so we'll check with the same category which we used yesterday. From category, so I'm making some reference here, something called C. C also we can use, and where CA dot will go back to the particular category class, and we'll check what are the properties are available in the particular category class. So name we can check here. We can check name and CA dot name. So CA dot name is equals to, we can make as a something called the named parameter here, and what I can do here, will return the query object here. One second, it's not working. What happened? Okay, let me save here. Still this workspace is it's going to complete. So while workspace is building, we cannot do any other operation here. Okay, now observe. Okay, so create query. Okay, here it is showing. So we don't. I'm expecting to be get to the particular return type here. Okay, now observe here. So we have created one query object. Using this particular query object, what I can do here, query dot set string, and here, so with inside this particular position, what we can do, what is the named parameter we are going to work here. So that is I'm going to specify here. So something called name, and what we can specify here inside this particular string. So here we need to specify the value. So what value we are going to specify here? So something called the name of the category name I'm making computer here. So it is deprecated thing. Okay, we'll see. Even though it will work here. Undo create query dot list. So create query dot list. Why it is not returning? Okay. So we have seen again why it is going on top up here. Let me copy. Okay, now we can observe here we have identified the list of objects we are going to get based on this particular category name. Now what we can do here, list dot for each. So we'll work on the action. So something called the object we can print here. The object we can print. Let me convert this object into category. Name we can print here. Okay. So this is all about the query dot create query method. Sorry, session dot create query method to load an object from the database here. So here what we need to focus here, basically how we are going to communicate the particular HPL here. That is important here. So now we can observe here. Okay. So make this out here. So what we are doing here, so instead of using the SQL, we are going to use this particular HQL here. So we are not going to get any. We are not going to get, I guess, let me debug here. Basically, I think we are not getting an object based on this particular category name. So we'll see how exactly it's going to work here. Okay. Even though the SQL query is generated here, but here still you are not finding object information here. So we'll check here like how exactly it's working here. Okay. So whenever we are calling this particular query create query dot list, so we'll see the query is generated here. Now we are not finding any object here. So because of this, we are not finding any the information. The sysout is not printing here. Getting the point. So we'll check here why the based on the category name we are not finding it. So any changes we have here. Let me go to here category name. Okay, computer is not there. So computer is not there. So what we can do? We'll check with this particular laptop here. Let me save. I'm trying to debug one more time. So we'll wait here. Okay, now we receive this particular query method. You can observe here You can check here. So at this time we are having the data. So because of this, we are going to get these many records here, and you can identify the particular list category is going to return 2 here. So now what we can do, you can check here. So 2 laps up, we are able to see the information here. So this is all about the using this particular SQL here. But observe here, what is the difference between SQL and HQL here? Basically, whenever we are trying to work with SQL, how we are going to write? So something called select star from the table name we are going to specify, right? Along with the table name, what we are going to do? We will specify the schema name also. So here, what is the schema we are using? So something called Hibernate dot. What is the name of the table? The table we are working here, category. But here, whenever we are coming back to our HQL, so observe carefully how we are working here. This is not a table name. This is the class name. So here, the name here, this is not the column name. This is the property name. Getting the point? So here, whatever the properties we are going to specify in the current class, so those properties we will use here. Even though in the current example we are using the name, the column name also same. Column name is a category underscore name, right? But observe in the normal example when we are going to work on the JDBC, definitely we are like, let me open. So that is a good idea to open the previous example which we have seen. So JDBC person DAO IMPL. You can check here update person, name of the person name and where ID we specified. Right here, these are pointing to the table name as well as column names. But coming back to this example, we are not going to work on the table name. We are going to work on the class name, and we are going to specify the properties of the table. So this is the difference between the SQL and HQL. Right. Internally, if we observe, again the HQL is converted into SQL only. Here you can check here. So select to something called the category ID, name of the category name, and it's having something different values is going to print here. So this is all about the HQL here, and we'll see. So I'm requesting try to add more example on this particular HQL to work on the any operation here. But we'll check with the one more here, criteria. So we have seen this particular query, and we'll check with the criteria how exactly it's going to work here. Okay, back to our example. What I can do, I will try to make this code as a comment. Okay, let me stop this particular. So to work on this particular criteria, what we can do? Again, we need to use session. Session dot what is the name of the method we need to call here? So something called create criteria. Here we can specify the criteria here, and is going to take as a class as a object here. So something called, what is the class we are going to work here? The name of the class will work on the criteria dot class. So here, this is the way we can work on the criteria, and along with this particular criteria, if we want to provide any expressions here, any expression we can make using this particular criteria object. Getting the point? Now we will see So criteria is coming from the Hibernate and something called criteria. Using this particular criteria object, what we can do? Criteria dot add. Criteria dot add. So here, what we can specify here, inside this, we are going to work on the expression. We are going to work as a expression. The expression is coming from the which class? Expression. Where is the Hibernate one? Okay, dot expression dot. What we can do? Like operator we can use. We can use like operator here. Observe here property name. What property we are going to work here? The same property I am going to use something called name. Getting the point? As well as, so what we want to specify. If we observe little bit in the SQL, so like whenever we are trying to perform operation using the like operator, same way here we can specify the like here based on this particular starting name or ending name or middle name, something we are going to specify, right? So that is also we can work using this particular criteria object here. And here, what I am doing here, I want to make again the laptops here. Again, I want to make here laptops here. So this is the way we can make something, the expression. We can make expression here. Using this particular criteria object, we are going to call criteria dot list method. And we'll copy this. We'll work on the same this. Okay. So observe carefully how exactly this particular criteria object will work here. So the two objects are coming here based on this particular expressions. Because basically in the particular, whenever we are creating this like criteria, what it will do, it will try to load all the records here. It will try to load all the records. Now observe, I'm not going to add any expression here. You can identify here. So something called laptops, null laptops, cell phones. So we have identified electronics. How many records we are getting? How many records are there in the table based on this particular class? All the records are going to loaded here. All the records are going to loaded. So if you want to load based on some condition, what we can do? We will make something called this particular expression to load the specific records. But here, getting the point. So this is all about the particular criteria object to make some restriction also here. And coming back to the HQL, someone asking one question here, how we can work on the specific column. To work on the specific column, what we can do, you can add here select. So CA dot name. Select CA dot name. CA is nothing but reference of this particular object. So here also we can make like this, so that it's going to load only one column. Is nothing but one property in a particular category object. So getting the point. So this is all about the loading is nothing but fetching an object using the different strategies. So we have seen so something called the session related methods, and as well as we have identified the HQL, and we have identified the criteria. So most of the time the criteria we are going to work as a to load all the records here, but along with the particular criteria, if we want to load some specific relate objects, what we can do, we'll make some condition here. Getting the point. So these are about the fetching the data from the database. So using our session object here. Any questions regarding this?
So you mean the criteria, right? So just like
Yes.
we are retrieving only one value. For example, you are retrieving complex queries, join, something like that. Those things also we can write that is that in the expression.
Yes, you can write it.
Whatever database we can, all the operations we can do, everything we can write here. Actually, but syntaxes are different. It's same.
Syntax
In the
nothing.
expression.
See, expressions like you will have the different information here. So that is I'm expecting, like whenever you are going to have the, so carefully observe here in the expression, these many you are going to find. So equal or between, something in the expression also we can write the SQL.
Oh, we can write SQL also.
So like you can see and condition, conjunctions, equals or greater than or equals, everything you will find here. Using these many properties we can add.
So whatever the data it is loading using that category dot class, for example here. So on the data we can do whatever operations we want using these methods.
Yes. Okay. So back to one more example. Here, what I am doing. So as of now, we have covered the session related information, but now observe in the which scenario this particular transaction is going to work here. Because we started this particular session dot begin transaction, but the begin transaction, what we are doing here, with the begin transaction, as of now, we did not perform any operation here. Just simply we are calling here the particular, so something called where we are calling the commit here. So this commit also we commented here. But now, in which scenario this particular transaction is going to work? Observe here the simple example. Whenever we are trying to perform any operation over the internet, something called, we are trying to book any record, we are trying to book any tickets. So whether it is a movie ticket or either it is any travel tickets, okay. But here, what are the steps internally it's going to perform here? Getting the point. Basically, so how exactly the particular transaction come into the picture here? So see carefully. Now, so whenever definitely we are in the initial stage. So from the initial stage, what we are going to do, we'll enter into the inside this particular transactional block. We'll enter into the particular transactional block. So transactional block is nothing but once the session is open, so the transaction is going to open here. But now, whenever we are enter into this particular transaction, so what we are going to do, we are going to have two operations here. The first operation here, if any all the operations are performed successfully, what we are going to do, we are going to commit the data. We are going to commit the data. If any exception we got, whether it is a network related or whether it is a system failure or that something or any the tickets are is sold by some other people. So based on that scenario, what we can do, we need to roll back the current transaction. Getting the point? How we can work on this particular operation here? How we can work on this particular operation here? So observe the simple example here. We are trying to book a ticket here. We are trying to book a ticket. The same ticket is trying to book with multiple people. The same ticket is trying to book with multiple people. But here, so the ticket only booked by the one people. The remaining people, we have to get some message here. The ticket is sold by other person, or the ticket is already sold out. Some message we want to see. Right. So to work on that, like in the Hibernate, we have one concept called ACID. So this concept is introduced in the same in the Spring also. So to see in the Spring also, in the more information, how exactly these components are going to work. So it's nothing but atomic, consistence, isolation, and durability. So these are the four components are available in Spring. In Hibernate, based on these four components, the transaction is going to perform the operation here. Getting the point. So what is going to do this particular component? If are working with how many transactions we are open, and what we are doing is all the transactions we are like pulling into the one kind of operation here. One kind of operation here is nothing but we are making something, the block of statement into the one operation. So after this particular automatic is going to perform this particular converting into the block of operation here. So once the automatic is converted, what is doing this consistent here? Whether this particular consistency, what is going to do is going to perform the operation like. So carefully observe here, we are having three transactions here, and this particular three transactions are going to is going to work on the same data, but here this particular consistency come into the picture. Even though that this particular three transactions are working on the same data, each user it has to get unique information. Each user it has to get unique information here. Getting the point. So if the user is getting the old information, so again we are going to lose the business here. Getting the point. Because observe the real-time scenario. Observe here. So let me clear here. We have something called Book My Show application here. So what we are doing here, we are trying to book 2 tickets here. We are trying to book, and for these 2 tickets, how many users are trying? 4 users are trying to perform the operation here. Getting the point. But so we cannot give an option to book this particular 4 users the 2 tickets. So if we are giving an option, definitely who is going to lose here? Who is going to lose? So who are the users trying to book the tickets? Because so the 4 people, total 8 people, what they will do? So we are having only two seats here, but whenever they enter into the movie hall, so they are going to fight with each other because 8 tickets are booked here. The 4 people are paid the amount, and here the movie person, like whoever the movie is trying to release, the person is going to get an advantage because they are having only 2 tickets, but they received the amount, the 8 tickets are amount they received. Getting the point. But here we don't want to do like that. But here what we can do, only one time the user has to enter, and the remaining user needs to wait, or whenever the other users are working, they need to get an updated information. Updated information in the sense, so once this particular user is booked this particular 2 tickets, for this remaining 3 users, they need to get a message called the 2 tickets are sold out. How we are going to get? Using the particular consistency, every time is going to perform updated information here. So that is going to taken care by the component called consistency. And so isolation. So isolation is what going to do here? Something called is going to make at a time one transaction. So internally it's going to have so serialization concept here. Getting the point. The serialization and synchronization concept will come into the picture to make particular the transaction to be successful. So here, whenever we are making the synchronization concept, what will happen here? Only one transaction is enter into the operation, so to perform some security related or some restricted information here. Observe. So observe here in the same example, 4 users are enter into this Book My Show application. They're trying to book these tickets. But where we can use this particular synchronization concept here? Where we can use, while whenever they are trying to make a payment, so we are giving an option to here, for user they are able to select the seats. But coming to the picture, whenever they are trying to make any payment, so while paying an amount, we are going to allow the one user here. So that is going to taken care by the isolation here. And once all the operation is successful, whether it is a successful or failure, so the information we need to store in the permanent location, that is called database. So is going to take care of, that is going to take care by the durability. Getting the point? So this is the way the main component call this particular ACID will come into the picture, and here based on these four components the transactions are going to work here. Getting the point? Now in the coming to the our Hibernate example, how we can work here. So simply we don't want to make any lot of changes here, because already default the Hibernate is going to give this particular behavior. If you want to make your own style, what we need to do? So you need to declare the transaction, and you need to make each each method with a transactional. Getting the point? And if we get any exception, we need to roll back the particular transaction here. The simple I'm going to explain here, the simple one. So now, as of now, these many examples we have run here, these many examples we are running, and simply we are trying to commit the changes here. So somewhere we have seen transaction dot commit. But whenever we are working on the transactional related, so all the examples we are going to work with inside the try catch. So observe here something called session dot. What we are doing here, begin transaction. So we'll call this particular method to return the transaction object, and once the transaction we get, what we are going to do, we'll try to work on the session related information. So something called session dot save or session dot save or update, and this information, what we are going to do, we are going to work on the try catch block. We are going to work on the inside the catch block. We will make a something called Hibernate exception. Hibernate exception. Getting the point? This is the way we can work here, and inside this particular Hibernate exception, whenever we are going to get any exception, what we can do here, so something called tx dot rollback. Rollback method we are going to call, and if any like we were not getting anything, so here inside the try block, what we are going to do, we are going to call commit. We are going to call commit. So this is the way the particular transaction is going to work. So here we'll see more information on this particular transaction in the particular Spring applications here. So like in the Spring also we are going to use the same transaction here. But the transaction also, whenever based on the ORM application, we'll work on the transaction. When we are going to work with the Spring with Hibernate, the same whatever the transaction we are using right now, we'll work on the same here. Getting the point? Now okay, any questions regarding this particular transaction? So simple introduction we have identified. Okay, so in the isolation level, we are going to have more information. So something called, so these are the different properties are available, and so like this is nothing but here we are going to have the T-read. So just I want to give this what are the components are available in the isolation. So this we are going to cover in the Spring also. Same components are available. So dirty read and one more unrepeatable read. So here, based on our requirement, we are going to perform this unrepeatable read. Unrepeatable read here. And so what is going to do this particular dirty read? Here, so observe carefully, one transaction is read the data which is changed by the another transaction. Getting the point? So what we are doing here? So simple example, the same. How many we are having? We are having 4 transactions here. We are having 4 transactions. But now the one transaction is trying to read the data which is made by the changes made by the another transaction. But here the changes are not yet committed. Carefully observe here. The changes are not yet committed here. But here, if the changes are not yet committed, what will happen here? What will happen? Basically, so simple example, the book might show, I want to explain here. So one transaction is entered, is trying to book the ticket. Is trying to book the ticket. So finally, this particular application is received to the payment gateway. So this transaction person, what is decided? So now I don't want to go to at this time. I will change the timing. I will change the timing. So maybe today or tomorrow. Getting the point. So whenever this person is trying to make the payment, between one more person is entered into the application. One more person is entered into the application. Right. But now again the person is trying to book this ticket here. Again another person is trying to book the ticket. So what we are going to see is this ticket is blocked by some other user. Getting the point. Now what will happen here? So this particular person also, what we are doing here? So while seeing the UI screen, so is going to understand. So as of now, for this time, we don't have a ticket. The tickets are sold out. But already one transaction is trying to book a ticket. What is doing here? What is doing here? This person has cancelled the payment. If the person has cancelled the payment also, so within the milliseconds of time, what we are doing here? We are losing one business option here. Getting the point? Because of we are trying to check with the updated data, which is not yet committed. Which is not yet committed in the sense this user is cancelled. So once the user is cancelled, this user also come out of the application. Here, this person not yet booked the ticket, and this person is blocked something. Because of this person blocking, this person also unable to book the ticket. Here we miss the business here. We lost the some kind of business here. Getting the point? And here one more here. So whenever we are having transaction read the rows with the different states. So carefully observe here. This is also we are going to lose the business here. Here one transaction is return the data which is on. So I'm talking about this particular unrepeatable data because the dirty read we have identified the drawbacks. So here using this particular dirty read we are going to have some the business losing here. Same way we'll see the unrepeatable read. Whenever we are working on this particular unrepeatable read, what will happen here? So the transaction is going to read the data twice. If the transaction is trying to read the data more than once, what will happen here? And so even if they're trying to read the data more than once with a different state, each time it's trying to read the data with a different state, what will happen here? So each time if the transaction is going to read the data with a different state, so definitely we are going to have different information. Each state we are going to have different information. So here also we may lose the particular the business related information here. So instead of doing what we are going to do, we are going to have one option here. So that is nothing but serializable. So that is nothing but serializable concept here. What it will do, every like each and like whenever we are trying to do any transaction, only one transaction is going to allow the our application to perform the operation here. Getting the point? So this is all about the particular isolation level, and so we'll see more information on the Spring related application. But in the Hibernate, we don't have much information. So simply we'll make the particular try catch block, and in the try we are going to provide the transaction related information, and whenever any exception will occur, so we'll roll back the particular transaction here. So this is all about the serializable concept. The serializable concept is coming from the basic Java concept, and they implemented more in the particular Hibernate as well as Spring. Getting the point? Now, so coming back to the flush here. So basically, we are going to work on the session dot flush. So in the which scenario we can work on the particular session dot flush here. So sometime what will happen here? So before saving the object, we are going to commit the changes here. When the transaction is committed before the particular, before saving the some information here. So in this case, if we want to save, so we need to go back to the session dot flush here. Session dot flush here. So now in the session dot flush, we are going to have the three property session flush mode dot auto. What is going to do is going to work on the default mode of the particular transaction, and the same way one more here session flush mode dot commit. Flush mode dot commit. What it will do? So basically, is not going to commit the changes whenever like before query execution. Before query execution. So getting the point. Now observe here so basically what is the drawbacks we are going to get first when the transaction is committed sometimes before the query execution. Getting the point. So before query execution, whenever we are trying to commit the transaction, so what we need to do, this particular session dot flush come into the picture to save the data into the database, and the flash we are going to have with the different properties here, and whenever we are going to work here the flush method, whenever we are going to call the flush method using the session object, what we are going to do internally is going to have some properties, so something called flush mode dot. So this is a one class, like it is a enum, and we are going to work on the auto. So by default nature is going to work here. So most of the time we are not going to use this particular auto, and not only this auto, flush mode dot commit. So in the which scenario we can work on this particular commit. So basically when we are going to use this particular component, so is going to work before executing any transactional, before executing any query, the data will not commit. The data will not commit. After executing the query only, the data is going to commit here. So this is, in this case, we can work on this particular flush mode dot commit. And now, if we want to make like as a developer after executing the query, what we can do? We have another one that is called flush mode dot never. Whenever we are going to use this particular component, what we can do? So explicitly we need to call session dot flush. Session dot flush. So this is the way we can work. Most of the time we will use this particular never only, because so developer only we need to check whenever we doesn't know like how many times we are going to run the particular query to get an object. So after getting an object, if we change something, we need to save the data into database. So in this case, we can work on this particular flush here. Okay, so this is all about the flush and as well as the particular the transaction information. So and we have pending here, we need to get more information regarding the particular query criteria as well as something called get and load method we have identified. So we'll see how we can work on the particular fetching related methods here, and that I am trying to cover because so I will try to complete on Monday or Tuesday this particular Hibernate concept, because only we have pending one-to-one mapping and many-to-many mapping. So some of the fetching related concept here. So any questions like if I'm going to start the particular association one-to-one or many-to-many, is going to take some time to explain. So that's the reason what I will do. I will continue on Monday to work on this particular association concept here. Once Hibernate is completed, we'll back to the Spring. Again, we'll communicate with the Spring using the XML configuration with the Hibernate. And once it is completed, we'll check with the annotation. Later, we'll move on to the Spring MVC. Later, we'll check with some of the REST APIs. So this is our agenda is going to complete. Okay. So if we don't have any queries, what I will do, I will complete the today class, and we'll see on Monday with a new concept called association. So I'm requesting everyone try to practice whatever as of now we'll learn. So the concept like Hibernate is very important, and to communicate with the database, what are the different styles we use it. And here in the particular query and as well as criteria, we have the multiple methods are available. So try to practice on each method. Yes, tell me.
Can you explain this, whatever you explained in this slide, this flush mode things? Can you explain again actually?
See, basically, so same way what we have covered in the isolation, like what are the components are available. Same way in the flush mode also we will use these components here. These are the main component like observe. So when we are going to work on the like in the, so as of now that concept also we did not discuss. Generated value. Basically we are giving like we are telling to the Hibernate, we don't want to use this particular default features of this mode. So we'll work with session.flush dynamically. So in this case, we can specify the flush mode dot never. And if we want to make this particular flush mode commit, what it's going to do is, whenever we are trying to load an object using the query, right? Any query, whether it is a query or criteria or get or load any method, what we are going to do? So before we don't want to commit the transaction, after loading an object from the database, we can commit the changes. In this case, we can specify this particular flush mode dot commit. For this purpose, we can work on the flush mode dot commit, and this is the default one auto.
You mentioning before even loading the database, we can commit, but before loading that, if you commit it, how the data?
That I'm not mentioning here. Sometimes the transaction is going to commit before loading the data.
Okay.
Getting the man. So to override the functionality, we are going to work this particular flush mode dot commit. What it will do, after loading the data only, the commit going to perform.
Okay.
So in this scenario, we can work on it. So instead of working, what we can do, so we can use the never in our example, like wherever we are trying to use the transactions and session, we'll call the session dot flush method. Because we doesn't know how many times we are going to load an object. So in the real-time application, more than one, we will load an object. Like once we load an object, if we do any operation on the same object, we want to flush. So in this case, we are going to work on the particular session dot flush. Explicitly, we are going to call this method.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So this is I want to explain here, and we'll see on Monday with a new concept. The association will continue. Any other questions? Okay. So if we don't have any other questions, we'll continue. We'll wrap up the today class and we'll continue on Monday.